in various places. And you could have down power lines. You could have
We are
dangerous
listening
objects.
to the Governor Ron DeSantis. I want to break in here. Landfall has been made. The storm Helene has now made landfall as a Category 4. I want to go to John Berman, who is in the bullseye. Let's talk to him in Tallahassee. John Berman is now made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane. Hurricane Helene officially making landfall. What are you feeling? What are you seeing?
Yeah, Category 4 landfall, 140-mile-per-hour winds. Hearing it made landfall about 10 miles southwest of Perry, which actually puts it east of Tallahassee and maybe on a path to skirt Tallahassee instead of going right over it, which might be a little bit of a relief for the people here. That said, this is a huge storm in terms of how wide it is. So the hurricane force winds and the tropical storm force winds will spread over a huge part of the panhandle, the upper panhandle, and into Georgia. But this storm made landfall with 140-mile-per-hour winds, and it's moving very, very quickly, which means that it will maintain its hurricane force as it moves over northern Florida and into Georgia. And that's where it will bring the trees down, the power lines, and create even more problems. The storm surge numbers that we are going to get from the Big Bend area in Florida, I can only imagine what they will be. If that storm made landfall with what they're saying 140-mile-per-hour winds, it must have pushed so much water up into those areas. I suppose the only saving grace is there aren't too many people who live along the coast in the Big Bend area, and hopefully most of them were able to get away. But now that the storm has made landfall, it's all about watching where it goes and the damage that it leaves behind. Perry, which is just 10 miles north of where it made landfall, that already experienced Hurricane Debbie, which was, what, a month ago. And then last year, I was trying to get through Perry and Hurricane Idalia, and you couldn't get through because there was so much tree damage there. So it's going to be very difficult for that town over the next several hours, Laura.
John Berman, so important, and we were listening to the governor talking and saying to everyone, you got to hunker down, that they were going to expect not only the landfall, but the surge and the water that was going to continue to rise, the hazardous conditions, be wary of the standing water, be wary of the downed power lines that could also be there as well, and to take precautions, and as John was saying, to treat it as if it were a tornado with those huge force, 140-mile-per-hour winds, and thinking about that eye of the storm. Don't be fooled, Governor DeSantis said, by the calm that might come. This is not the time to look around it. I want to go to the Tallahassee mayor.